Cite and Release. It's a controversial policy Bexar County, SAPD, and the city have been discussing for 2 years now. But today, city leaders and police say they may move forward to implement the plan as early as January. Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Baker has the details.
With the proposed policy, any SAPD officer would have the discretion on whether to give a citation to someone for breaking the law for a minor offense like marijuana possession or arrest them. Proponents say it'll save the city money, but opponents argue there's no data to support that case. District 10 City Councilman Clayton Perry says the safety and security of those in San Antonio is his priority.
Theft of service, damage, things like that that would cost our neighbors and residents here in the community, I have a problem with those.
So far this year, SAPD has made 6,313 arrests for offenses eligible for cite and release. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says it would be up to the officer at the scene to determine whether or not a person suspected of breaking the law would be hauled off to jail.
If you have someone on the scene who's violent or acting up in any way, belligerent, arguing with a neighbor, then that person would in all likelihood be arrested based on the circumstances.
The policy also states if the officer cannot determine the identification of the individual, their next stop would be jail.
If we can't ID you, there won't be a citation issued. The person would be arrested.
Jessica Azua from the Texas Organizing Project says not only would this policy save the city money by saving time with fewer arrests, but would also keep lives moving forward by keeping those committing these minor offenses out of jail and those offenses off their permanent records.
It's going to be really hard for that person to apply for financial aid, to go to school, to apply for a house, to rent a house.
Police Chief McManus plans to meet with the district attorney-elect next month to discuss the implementation of the policy, with the hopes City Council will vote on it in January. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office already has a cite and release program which went into effect this past February. In the studio, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.